Today we discuss God's plan versus Satan's plans for relationships, coming up on a better pickup line. Now before we get started today, if you find the information on this channel helpful, go ahead and click the subscribe button and also connect with me in ways that are listed below in the description box. And also share this video and all of the other videos with others that they may be blessed by the information as well. Now let's go ahead and get into today's video. So when we look at relationships, we're asking the question today, what was God's original plan? Since we're looking at God's plan versus Satan's plan, what was God's original plan for relationships? Well, in order to start, let's start with Genesis 1:26 through 29. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. Then God blessed them, and God said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves on the earth." And God said, "See, I've given you every herb-bearing seed. I've given you every herb that yields seed, which is on the face of all the earth, and every tree whose fruit yields seed. To you it shall be for food." Okay, so here we see God designed man to be made in his image, and he's given him authority, right? So as men, as mankind here on this earth, we have authority in this realm. However, God doesn't just see man as just male, but as male and female. So in his mind, he already sees us as a pair needing each other. Male being the seed and female being the ground. So male and female, or seed and ground, be fruitful and multiply. Genesis 8:22 tells us that as long as the earth remains, seed time and harvest shall not pass away. So the thing that makes the male and female relationship so powerful, so fruitful, that thing shall never ever pass away. Seed time and harvest. Whatever you sow, you shall reap a harvest from. So now you see the power of the relationship, because the authority of man rests in seed time and harvest. Whatever you want to create can be created through seed time and harvest. Now this functions on a few different levels. Number one, it functions on the speech level. Mark 4 tells us that the sower sows the word. So the things that we speak into the lives of another individual, the things that we speak into this atmosphere, period, those words are as seed. And those seed, and when seed hits the ground, it produces a harvest. So what we are speaking now is seed that is producing a harvest in our lives, so that we have in our lives the things that we say. Now the second level is in your actions. You know, whatever you do, you know, has a reciprocal response. Even in Galatians, I believe it was chapter 5, where it talks about he who sows to the Spirit, well, the Spirit reap everlasting life. And he says, if you sow to the flesh, you will of the flesh reap corruption. So you could also be sowing financial seed into somebody's life. You could be doing good works that is as a seed, you know, that produces a harvest. You reap what you sow. You know, you get back that which you give out. Now the third level is also is sexual. You know, if a man deposits sperm into a female body, what is the result? A baby is born. Human life is born. So we see that in everything that we're doing, seed time and harvest is at the very root of it. So when God created marriage, he created it to be a supernatural system of seed time and harvest. The Bible has clearly said that one put 1,000 to flight, two put 10,000 to flight. So when you are in relationship, a marital relationship with someone, now there is this enhanced level of seed time and harvest, where you are getting an outsized harvest based on, you know, compared to what you were getting by yourself alone. So let's go back to Genesis 2. We see Adam is placed in the garden that was already prepared for him. So God gives him instructions. What God desires is to speak a word, right? And have a man and his wife begin to transfer that word back and forth to each other through words, through actions, through sexual intercourse, through sharing vision, sharing faith, and through, sharing love with each other. Now, he does that, or this is his desire, because he knows that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Out of the heart flow the issues of life, and as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So he wants faith to be released when we speak that word. So we're sharing that word, a man and wife sharing that word back and forth, back and forth. Why? Building faith. Faith is being released. They're being edified over and over again. Now, when they speak that word out of their mouth, authority is released. And harvest has come because you have what you say. You are releasing the deposits that are on the inside of you, and you have what you say. And so now the fruit that is coming forth as a harvest, that's the fruit that was born out of, his word, so that his kingdom is being increased. That's why godly marriage is so powerful. Again, as I said earlier, one can put 1,000 to flight. Two can put 10,000 to flight. You're sharing and building vision. You are seeing the same thing. You are speaking the same thing. And when you do that, it allows strengths to cancel out weaknesses. Now, here's the kicker. God never intended for you to find this relationship by yourself. Not at all. Just like he prepared everything in the garden for Adam, he also prepared a wife for Adam that was everything that Adam could ever want or hope for. The key was Adam received his wife through the word, and Eve was born out of seed time and harvest. God brought Eve to Adam. Adam didn't go out and find Eve through his own devices, because in order for this system to work, the seed and the ground have to agree. Pineapple seed doesn't grow in Canadian soil. See, we may not always get it right, but God knows who is compatible. So if we stop trying to work and do it in and of ourselves and just receive the seed of his word and allow his word to grow out of us as a harvest, then we'll find that we have more success, because when that harvest grows out of us, it is bringing to us that which he has already prepared for us. Who he has already prepared for us. Someone who is compatible with us. Someone who is comparable to us. Someone who is suitable for us. Someone who works well with us. And then we find that we don't have to deal with all of the stress of trying to make it happen on our own. So God's plan is to put the right seed in the right ground and watch harvest come forth. Satan's plan is to put the wrong seed in the wrong ground and watch that negative harvest come forth. You see people that they've been together for so many years, and the only thing that they're doing is because they are in wrong relationship, the only thing that they're doing is they're bringing forth a harvest of all of the negative things. They are consistently speaking negative things into each other's life. They are building a negative vision by worrying and complaining, and they are causing each other to do less of the things of righteousness, less of the things that God has called them to do. And so what they are producing is a life that is filled with regret, a life that's filled with hurt, a life that's filled with pain, and this thing becomes a constantly recurring cycle. And that's what Satan wants, because when he gets to have his seed deposited into the heart of the husband and the heart of the wife, and they continually begin to produce that negative harvest, guess what? That impacts the world as well. Because now in this world we have this negative picture of marriage. Now in this world we see that there's an increase of death, there's an increase of stress, there's an increase of sickness, there's an increase of disease and poverty, there's an increase of strife. And that is his plan. He doesn't want there to be right relationship, because the marriage, the family, is the foundation of this entire world. So he is trying his best to counteract what God wills to do. The best way to increase the kingdom of God is to find the right spouse through seed time and harvest, and then use that same system of seed time and harvest with your spouse to build faith, so that you can bring forth a harvest of that shared vision that God has given you. Like it says in Genesis chapter 1, be fruitful and multiply. Well, that's today's video. I hope this information has been a blessing to you. And if you found this information helpful, go ahead and click the subscribe button. Also connect with me in ways that are listed in the description box below. And don't forget to share this video with others so that it can be a blessing to them as well. Until next time, I'm Lott, and this is your Better Pickup Line.